This is the secret hiding behind every Denier number printed on your tent, your backpack, your rain jacket. That number isn't independently tested. It isn't regulated. In most cases, it's the manufacturer simply telling you how strong they say their fabric is, and you're expected to take their word for it. Here's what Denier actually measures. It's the weight in grams of 9,000 meters of a single strand of yarn. That's it. It tells you how thick the individual fiber is. Nothing more. It doesn't tell you how the fabric was woven, what chemical coating was applied, or how the threads were arranged in different directions across the material. And that gap between what the number implies and what it actually proves is exactly where this loophole lives. Consider this. A 600 Denier nylon fabric can be significantly stronger than a 1,000 Denier polyester fabric, because nylon fibers simply have more elasticity and tear resistance than polyester ones. The material chemistry matters more than the number on the label, but almost nobody selling you gear is explaining that distinction. They're just printing the bigger number because bigger sounds better, and bigger numbers sell. It gets worse once you look at how fabric is actually woven. Fabric has two thread directions, warp and weft, running perpendicular to each other. Quality manufacturers use the same Denier thread running in both directions. Cut-rate manufacturers can use a thick, strong thread in the direction you're likely to notice or test by hand, and a thinner, weaker thread running the other way. Both products can legally print the exact same Denier number on the label, but one of them is structurally a fraction as strong as the other in the direction that actually matters when the fabric is under stress. And there's no label requirement anywhere that forces a brand to disclose that difference to you. This isn't a fringe trick limited to one shady factory somewhere. It's baked into how the entire industry communicates with you. Some brands have even started swapping in thread count instead of Denier entirely on their spec sheets, because a high thread count number looks impressive sitting next to a low Denier number, creating an impression of quality that the actual fabric strength doesn't back up. You end up comparing two numbers that aren't even measuring the same thing, and the brand never has to clarify which one you should actually trust. Pick up two tents listed at the same Denier, and you can genuinely be holding two different products in terms of real-world strength. And nothing on the packaging is required to tell you that. So who's checking any of this? In the United States, the relevant voluntary standard for camping tents, ASTM F3431-21, exists specifically to address flammability and warning labels. Nothing about the structural strength of the fabric itself. It's voluntary, meaning a manufacturer can simply choose not to follow it, and there's no legal consequence for skipping it. The Federal Trade Commission's Textile Act does regulate fiber content claims, things like whether a product is genuinely cotton or genuinely nylon, with a small allowed tolerance for measurement error. But fiber content and fabric strength are two completely different things. Denier ratings, tear strength, and durability claims fall entirely outside what the Textile Act was ever built to police. There's simply no government body standing between a manufacturer's marketing copy and your purchase decision on this specific question. There is one part of this industry that does it differently, and it's worth understanding exactly how, because it proves this problem is solvable. Cordura is a registered fabric brand, not a generic material name, and manufacturers can't just slap that name onto their product because it sounds tough. To legally use the Cordura label, a fabric has to go through an actual certification process, submitting samples to testing, getting evaluated against specific abrasion and tear strength benchmarks like controlled multi-directional abrasion cycles, and only then receiving a formal notice of approval with a unique reference number attached to that exact fabric. That reference number means something specific. It means an independent party put that fabric through a defined test, and it passed a defined threshold, not that a marketing team decided it sounded durable enough. That's a real, working verification system, and it already exists. The infrastructure is built. The vast majority of gear on the market simply doesn't use it, opting instead for a generic, self-reported denier number that nobody outside the manufacturer is checking. This is happening inside a market that's worth real money, not a niche corner of retail. Global spending on outdoor gear and equipment was valued at $61.7 billion in 2025, and it's projected to climb to $65.28 billion in 2026. Every single one of those dollars is being spent by someone reading a denier number on a product page and assuming, reasonably, that it means something verified. For most of that market, it doesn't mean that at all, and there's no requirement anywhere forcing a brand to correct that assumption. None of this means every low denier product is secretly garbage, or that every brand out there is deliberately lying to you. Plenty of companies build genuinely solid gear at every denier range. Using internal quality control standards, they simply don't advertise as loudly as a single printed number. The problem isn't that denier exists or that lightweight fabric is inherently bad. The problem is that a number with no enforcement behind it is being marketed to you as if it carries the same weight as a certification, when in most cases, it's just a figure the manufacturer chose to print because no one was going to stop them. So here's what actually protects you as a buyer. Look specifically for fabrics that carry a real, named certification, not just a generic denier number standing alone, with brands like Cordura being the clearest example currently available in the market. When a denier number is the only spec listed on a product, treat it as a starting point for comparison, not proof of durability, especially on gear you're trusting to perform when conditions turn bad. Check whether the listing mentions anything about weave consistency or directional strength, and treat its absence as a gap in information, not a guarantee that nothing is being hidden. And remember that material chemistry matters as much as the number itself. A well-built fabric at a lower denier can outperform a poorly built one at a higher denier every single time, regardless of which number looks bigger on the box. The next time you see a denier rating on a product page, you're not looking at a safety certification and you're not looking at a guarantee. You're looking at a number the company chose to put there, with nobody standing behind it but them.